In kitchens like this one at Donington Manor House, meat dishes would be made using the whole animal, nose to tail, in a much more sustainable and less wasteful way than tends to be the norm now.
The type of cuts of meat that people find off-putting nowadays tended to form the main part of side dishes or complementary dishes in the 17th century. One example of this is the mince pie, or Christmas pie, or December pie as it was also known.
And lots of them call for an ingredient called neat's tongue, but we would better know it as ox tongue. And it's better to prepare that in advance because it takes a good 3 hours to boil. So we thought we'd have a go at recreating one of these recipes. So first of all, we'll add in some raisins. And then we need some dates and some prunes and a little bit of candy peel.
Next thing that are going in are our spices.
So there's some mace, and ground cloves.
Next comes the meaty ingredients. So we have our ox tongue, which is going in, and the suet, which is going to bind the whole pie together as it cooks.
And then the final ingredient of the filling is a dash of rum to make it extra Christmassy. So the pastry we're using is a hot water crust pastry, and the ingredients are really simple. So there's some boiling hot water, some butter, and then plain flour. The recipe calls for the fairest flour that you can find.
It's really important to work this pastry while it's warm, and the recipe suggests if it's not coming together thick enough that you can add an egg yolk, but ours seems to be coming together quite nicely.
In the best traditions of cookery films, we have of course got some we made earlier to show you. So there's just one more stage before serving, and that's to add some more sugar. And you did this by peeling back the lid.
In 1666, Samuel Pepys records that he had ribs alongside his pie, so we've got some ribs here to add to our Christmas meal.
And the final element of our dish is plum pottage or porridge, which is a dish made from breadcrumbs steeped in the water that you'd use to boil the meat. So yet another example of how nothing was wasted. And there you have it, a thrifty Christmas dinner without a sprout in sight.
And as delightful as it looks, we think we might stick to a more modern equivalent.
I think so. Cheers.